and clearly it was targeted the Democrats. Or unless you were watching Fox News today, and if you did watch Fox News, it was a hoot, because paraphrasing, their biggest theory at this point was this clearly was the Democrats targeting themselves, and they owe everyone an apology. I mean, that's Fox News. And if you as Fox News was breaking the news about these bombs, they were sitting and talking about how dare those Democrats interrupt Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell as he's having his ground meat patty at a local Kentucky restaurant. How dare they? And I am just, it is what it is. I will say this, it clearly looks like it's a target against the Democrats. And frankly, I'm sorry, doesn't this read exactly like one of Trump's rallies? We got to talk to Stein about this, and Stein will join us a little bit later on. It's going to be fascinating to see what Trump does at this rally if he can't really do his usual bad-mouthing of Soros or the Clintons or Obama or Eric Holder or CNN.
That's the most clear thing. CNN going after them, too.
And Brennan at CNN. I don't. Yeah, it sure does seem like this is, someone who's smart enough to make a rudimentary pipe bomb, but dumb enough not to realize the Secret Service is still protecting the former presidents of the United States.
What I think he's going to do? I think he's going to play it off that he's been threatened too. That's the angle I think he's going to take.
That was the initial story. There was, all of a sudden there was a bomb went to the White House, so don't you Democrats, don't you dare Democrats, there's one to the White House. And then you find out, there actually wasn't one to the White House. And once again, this is in this day and age when stuff like this happens to the Democrats, there's usually, a Republican was attacked too. Well, that's not the case. Well, clearly was the Democrats attacking themselves. What are you talking about? And God forbid there's any facts involved with their theory. None at all. And they just run with it. And then eventually it's not terrorism. It's, it was a conservative guy, but If it ends up being a conservative guy, the Republicans will have the mentality of, it was a conservative guy, but he was a loner rapscallion. He wasn't a terrorist. Why would you call him a terrorist? The terrorists are the hungry people from Guatemala. Those are the real terrorists, not the guy who's terrorizing everyone. He's just a scamp. Rich is in Lakeville. Let's get Rich on in here. Welcome on in, Rich. Rich, you there? No, Rich? All right.
I'll check with him.
All right, see if he's there. Obviously this is, someone it was just a few days ago that you had Trump at a rally in Montana praising the body slamming of the reporter, was it Giaforte? Giaforte is the House rep out there who body slammed the guy because he asked him about health care. And Trump was there saying, he's my guy, tough guy. I wouldn't want to mess with him. And if you read Jim Acosta's account of what the crowd did after that point, half the crowd started pretending to body slam journalists themselves, and multiple people turned to the journalist crew that was following them and were clearly making threatening signals to them. This is coming from Trump. Guy, just like on the Southwest Airlines flight from Houston to Albuquerque, where a man went and sexually assaulted a woman who was sitting next to him, and as they were dragging him off the plane, his exact words were, well, Donald Trump says it's okay to do this, so I don't know why you guys are arresting me. This is your America, Republicans. This is your America. And I don't know if it is conservatives or not. Sure, it looks like conservatives, especially when they're going after Soros and CNN, doesn't it? Sure, it does look like them. Today, immediately after I posted about this, I got this one guy goes, every Republican ever has already condemned this, yet no Democrat has. It's like, what are you talking about? First of all, your entire narrative is skewed. You have to ignore anytime bad things happen. The Democrats are always out there in condemning this stuff, almost to a fault. But they condemn it very vigorously. We were here. We condemned. We'll give you a great example when the allegations came up against Al Franken, against Keith Ellison. as well as against the Republicans when those allegations come up, we're an equal opportunity. We condemn. But then you have to grossly overestimate how many Republicans are condemning. I went online before this show. Of the 4 major Republicans running for statewide seats here, Jeff Johnson, Karen Housley, Jim Newberger, and Doug Wardlow, of the 4 of them running, not one of them has condemned this attack on this country, a terrorist strike on this country. And as a matter of fact, Doug Wardlow's campaign, and paraphrasing, is Keith Ellison's the real terrorist. You know, they don't condemn this stuff. For God's sakes, they never condemn this stuff. Or rarely do they, only when it's like Trump today where he has to come on out and after basically it's his own personal hit list he's been preaching at his rallies, all of a sudden gets attacked. Now all of a sudden, gee willikers, I didn't really mean for you guys to go after him. But yet there's the narratives are, this was the left did it to themselves. This is what the right are saying. The left did it to themselves. The Democrats have to apologize first before we'll condemn anything. Or as one, what was it? Meghan McCain put out earlier today, that this is just as bad as Mitch McConnell getting taunted at a restaurant. Whoa. Barack Obama, there's a bomb sent to Barack Obama, former president of the United States. And in your mind, that's the same thing as Mitch McConnell getting heckled at an Embers as he gets that Crown Chuck roast beef patty with gravy. That you think those two things are equal. And they do. I mean, Jeff Johnson was, where's the tolerant left? When he got booed at the state fair for making an asinine comment. So much for the tolerant left. Has he condemned this? No, of course not. And he won't. He will not do it. And you know why? It's because there's a heck of a lot of Republican voters that actually kind of fan fiction this crap. They do. They do. And that is why it's suicide for Republicans to go on out there and condemn this stuff. No, Mitch McConnell getting taunted at a restaurant is not the same thing as bombs being sent to former presidents of the United States. Or when women were in the hallways of the Capitol screaming at politicians about Kavanaugh, of course they were. You guys were about to put a guy who was accused of sexual assault on the Supreme Court. And you were ignoring the obvious that maybe you don't want to rush this. No, there's not going to be any condemnation of any magnitude from Republicans. There's not. There's not. They're just not. And the reason why, especially Republican politicians, is because they need the people that are dreaming that they were the ones that would have done something like this to vote for them. And you want to know the sad part about their party right now? There is a scary amount of people in this country that when they heard about this, the first thing they said is a shame that didn't work. And that is the truth. And that is America today. But yet, the right's already, what about the left condemning McConnell's, interrupted meal? Come on. Until the Republicans rein this crap in, until Republicans say this kind of rhetoric at these rallies is way over the top, until we look and say that screaming black Muslim man as your entire campaign is probably wrong, until we get to that point, this stuff is not going to stop, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. I mean, if you think about this is pretty darn brazen. This is really brazen. Let's try to get Rich in Lakeville one more time here. Rich, welcome on in. Let's see if he's there this time.
Hi, Matt. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'll tell you what, and you're spot on with what you've been saying. Absolutely right on the money. And I'll guarantee you, after a week or so when perhaps in his mind, Trump's mind, this dies down a little bit, at the rallies, instead of lock her up, these people will be starting to say blow her up. I'll guarantee you, and Trump won't be able to help himself. That's how nuts.
Oh, Rich, you're right, and he is right. Rich is absolutely correct. There's going to be people at the rallies today. It's supposed to be in Wisconsin today, I believe. There's going to be a person out there screaming, "Kill George Soros." And how long before Trump basically says, "Yeah, I don't condone bombing, but they almost got them all, didn't they?" That is where we at as a country. And because Republicans are terrified of condemning this stuff, because that's a huge part of their base, this is not going to end. Instead, they scream about how the Democrats need to apologize in triplicate first, and then, and only then, will we apologize. Shut up. You know, you wonder why the civility has gone out of this country. Republicans, look in the frickin' mirror. That's why. You guys, you've been doing this for decades now. And it's only ramping up and getting worse and worse. And until you guys rein this stuff in, it's always going to get worse. So when Republicans in leadership condemn strongly the rhetoric from Trump himself that is going out there, that is clearly the foundation of this hit list that happened in this country today on a terrorist attack by domestic terrorists, until you guys have the guts to do it, this will not stop. This will not stop. And like I said, I have zero doubt that they're not going to condemn this.